We're living in a fucking atomized, isolated, gentrified society where there is no longer a personality. There is no longer an individual. None of it exists. There is no human spark. The human element has been sucked out of everything. Sucked dry, packaged and sold. Everything is a commodity. Everything is industrialized. There is no you. You are a product. We're all just fucking products in a giant fucking shopping center. Goyslop, Sneako. Remember that tonight's stream is about low IQ streamers and lolcows. We're building up. Alex the Virgo talked about the great shift, how content creation is going towards a more authentic path. Sneako's gonna talk about Goyslop. He's gonna explain what the Goyslop is. And then the last video is the Rakai is making his audience dumber video. We're snowballing here, chat. We're snowballing. I'm trying to snowball the theme for tonight.
Goyslop, simply put, is the ending of Wall-E. Seeing an entire civilization wildly overweight, bound to a chair, only able to consume media and a screen that's directly in front of their faces and slurp food connected to a cup and a straw. That movie came out when we were kids, and slowly we can see society fall deeper and deeper into this trap.
This is why I picked this video to react to tonight. Because we're talking about the low IQ content. We're talking about low IQ streamers. But forget, the title is a little bit clickbaity for tonight because I said low IQ streamers, but it doesn't even need to have to do with streamers or ghetto streamers at all. Culture in general. Our culture is being stupidified. And that's why I picked this video about the Goyslop.
Goyslop is a funny word, and it's been used a lot more recently. And I like to make fun of my friend Steezy when he goes to Chipotle, lined up like cattle, waiting to get a scoop of whatever is in the spoon from some minimum wage employee who wants to go home and doesn't care if they spat in it or not.
Misgift says, you're a very lonely and empty person, stuck in self-delusion, reaching for your last breath to become someone else. But reality is, this is who you are, just another overaged man going nowhere fast. Yo, Misgift, my question for you is it easy to suck that much dick? Seriously, is it easy to suck cock? Misgift? Serious question, bro. I'm curious, man. How do you do it, bro? This nigga in the chat, Misgift, be holding his breath longer than a fucking blue whale. So many fucking cocks down his fucking throat. I know, baby. I know. He's making you mad because he's an incel. And he came here just to say that. Homie came here just to say that. Says Misgift is here. No, it's a guy who has the same name because he's a glazer, which makes it even more ironic and pathetic. He wants to come in here and tell me that I'm a nobody going anywhere fast, and his username is Misgift. Like, how much of a dick sucker do you have to be to grab somebody else who's famous his username in order to feel important? That's pathetic. That's the telltale sign of a loser. A dirtbag loser who's never accomplished anything in his fucking life. He's probably in his mother's basement, sucking her toes right now, begging for leftover milk like a fucking stray cat. And then he comes into my chat and tries to tell me that I'm not going anywhere fast when he literally is not even original enough to come up with his own fucking username. He says, it's pathetic that someone is holding a child while streaming to only one person. You know what's pathetic? It's pathetic that you're never going to reproduce and have a child, bro. How about that, buddy? It's pathetic that your bloodline ends with you. You can't get pregnant by getting fucked in the ass, Misgift. It doesn't work that way. You fucking dirtbag, scumbag, piece of shit. Look at yourself. At least I can look at myself in the mirror, nigga. Dirtbag. Nobody in this world loves him. If he dropped dead today, nobody would even notice. I promise you, Misgift. I promise you, if you drop dead today, nobody would notice or care. They probably wouldn't even put you in they probably wouldn't even give you a proper funeral. They'd probably just throw your fucking body in a fucking cardboard box and throw it into a hole. The fuck are you talking about, dude? He says, wait, so it's Misgift or someone pretending to be him? It's somebody pretending to be him, Amid. He spelled the name M-I-Z-K-I-F-H-H. It's on Kick. You guys don't see the chat? Look on your screen. It's a Kick user. He says, Rage Bait super effective on Scott. They triggered my trap card. He says, if you stop streaming today, no one would care. Okay. If you died today, nobody would care, nigga. You're insignificant, bro. You're less than a fucking summer ant. You're literally worth less than trash. Literally. Your life has no value whatsoever. You've never accomplished anything. Not even your parents would care, bro. They'd probably celebrate. They'd probably be like, oh, my deadbeat son passed away last night. Thank God. And they'd probably fucking throw your body into an incinerator booth and then throw your ashes into the fucking ocean or some shit. He says, you're a failed man. He says, don't feed into it, Scott. No, because he's going to make me go full low tier God on his ass, bro. He says, we wouldn't be sad if you stopped streaming. We would be sad if you stopped streaming. I know, Daffy. He's just talking out of his ass, bro. He's just an angry man on Kick. All alone on Kick. Everybody else is watching on YouTube having fun, and this cocksucker comes over from Kick, and he thinks he's going to do something in here or change my perspective on life or make me feel bad. Talking about you're not going anywhere fast. Bro, I have more money in my bank account than all of your fucking ancestors and future descendants combined. Well, actually, you won't have any future descendants. All of your ancestors combined. You're a nobody, bro. You're a dirtbag. You're worth nothing. Your life is worth nothing. You're meaningless. Pointless. Your existence is a waste of fucking air. Go respawn, bro. Go respawn. You spawned in the wrong era, bro. You spawned in the wrong fucking checkpoint. Go respawn again, brother. Give somebody else that fucking air. He says, plot twist. It's a 15-year-old. He says, okay, Scott, go to the next topic. Fuck Misgives bullshit. He says, why the fuck is he fighting with the 12-year-old? For the clip. I'm not pressed. You guys think I'm pressed? I'm just trying to get the clip. I'm trying to go low tier God on his ass. Okay, let's go back to the video, guys.
People lining up to pay money to put nutrients in their body the same way that prisoners do.
I've always said that. Yo, Sneako and me have a lot of fucking common, bro. I've always said that we live in a dystopia, chat. You guys don't realize it, but we live in a fucking dystopia. The only difference between our dystopia and the dystopia that you see in movies is that in movies, everything is all gray and drab and dirty. But in truth, the reality is that we live in the Hunger Games. We live in the Hunger Games, chat. And when you go to the McDonald's or other fast food joint and you're in your little car lined up to get your fucking slop meal, your fucking bread basket, you're basically in the fucking same scenario of the Great Depression. You're in a line getting food that's barely even food. Do you think that if you went back in time with the McDonald's Happy Meal and you showed it to a fucking pioneer, they would eat that shit? Are you serious? They'd probably die. If you had a time machine, chat, and you grabbed the McDonald's meal, forget about the Happy Meal, forget about the value meal. You got the most expensive meal at McDonald's. And you went back with the time machine to the pioneer days and you gave it to one of those fucking pioneers out in the West and they ate that shit, they would die. They would die. We're literally eating poison. You might as well just eat carcinogens. But the problem is that you've been brainwashed and conditioned to think that this is fucking life. This is not life. You're a slave. You're literally a slave in the Matrix. You eat what they tell you to eat. You buy what they tell you to buy. You believe what they tell you to believe. Wake the fuck up, man. People don't realize it, bro. I've been saying it for years. We're in a dystopia. We're literally in a fucking terror movie, a dystopia horror movie, and we don't realize it. You're just used to it. That's the problem. You've been living in it for your whole life. You haven't woken up yet. You haven't looked around. You don't realize you're in the fucking Matrix. The machines have you connected right now, bro. They're fucking you. They're fucking you. They got the tube shoved up your fucking ass right now, and you don't realize it. You're living in the Matrix. You wake up every single day to your miserable life. You go to your miserable job, and you work for fucking pieces of paper that have absolutely no inherent value that you trade for commodities. And you've been conditioned to this your entire life, so you don't realize that it's unnatural and it's unhealthy. But if you could get somebody from ancient times and bring them into this world and show them where we're at right now, how we live life, they would probably be appalled and disgusted. Because you're not living life. You're living like a slave.
The word goy is used to describe people like cattle.
Yo, FinnGeo80811, thank you for joining the stream.
Serve their masters. The slop is in everything that we consume, not just from the Chipotle or the McDonald's. Once you start seeing it, you can't unsee it. Like how the lights used to be warm and how architecture used to be inspiring. And now McDonald's doesn't have the playpen. It's built like a corporate WeWork. And all the warm lights have been replaced with fluorescent hospital lights.
Well, they build that way on purpose. The reason they build those McDonald's buildings like that is because they want to be able to sell the building in the future. But what they don't realize is that it also influences culture, right? If you live in a corporatized world where everything is monotone and there's no personality, there's no there, right? There's no soul. The spark has been taken out of society, right? We're living in a fucking atomized, isolated, gentrified society where there is no longer a personality. There is no longer an individual. None of it exists. There is no human spark. The human element has been sucked out of everything, sucked dry, packaged and sold. Everything is a commodity. Everything is industrialized. There is no you. You are a product. We're all just fucking products in a giant fucking shopping center. That's what America is. That's what the West has become. And unfortunately, when you wake up and you realize that, life becomes very dreary because you realize that you're a slave and all the people around you are slaves that are brainwashed and they don't realize it. They're like fucking NPCs. They're just going about their fucking NPC fucking predetermined patterns without thinking about their existence whatsoever. They never stop to contemplate, what am I doing in my life? Where am I going in life? What is next? Why am I here? Why do I exist? What is my purpose? None of that shit. They're just consumers. They're empty-minded, monotone, lacking personality, lobotomite consumers. And once you wake up and you see it, like Sneako said, it's hard to unsee it. Every single time I walk around and I see people, I hear them talking, I hear the bullshit they believe, I realize these people are in the matrix and you can't wake them up. You try to wake them up, they reject it. They reject the programming. I hate to say it. Even the stuff we were talking about with Kai Cenat, when I tell royalty, like, oh, this is fake. And then he pushes back and says, oh, I think it's real. It's real. It's real. It's like, no, you're conditioned. It's fake. You're drinking the Kool-Aid. Just like when multiple people, I hate the bully royalty. I'm not trying to call you out, but it's one of the things. It's an easy example, but it applies to many other things. He says, shut the fuck up, Scott. It applies to many other things. It applies to many other things with many other people. I'm just using that as an example because it was an easy example. It's like, bro, we live in a society where everything is fake. Everything is fake. Everything is fake. Everything you see on the media is fake. Everybody, what they portray in the media is fake. Their personalities are fake. Everything is curated. Everything is planned. Everything is a fucking industrialized commodity, bro. Nothing is real. I cover stuff because I know the people want to hear my opinions on the topics. Some people might say I'm a grifter for doing that. They'll say, oh, Scott has no passion on a topic. He's just covering it because he wants to get the views. I cover it because you guys want to hear it. But in my heart, in my mind, whenever I'm covering this slop, I think to myself, like, this shit that I'm talking about has literally no consequence other than to promote consumerism and to continue the lobotomization of society. That's all it is. That's all it is. And unfortunately for me, I grew up in the wrong era, right? I missed the boat. I missed the boat. I missed the boat. He said, daddy's yapping. I missed the boat of the opportunity to be a true intellectual, to be a philosopher. And I've been left in a society where the only thing that's valued is attention and slop.
All this is designed to crush the soul slowly. I try my best to avoid Goyslop, but even this video is. You're probably going to be interrupted by a Taco Bell ad. That Taco Bell ring.
Hey, yo, royalty, pause.
Cows here before they're fed enough food to be slaughtered and put into a burger. Last week I tweeted how much I hated everybody who bought tickets to Avengers Endgame, the Marvel movie in 2019 that was the most box office grossing movie of all time. Everybody got very upset, but when you think back, can people really remember what happened in that movie?
Nope.
A bunch of Hollywood actors dressed up in tights to make millions of dollars running around. I hate Marvel so much because it's the visual representation of Goyslop.
It's spectacle. All of the movies, all of the TV shows that we quote unquote enjoy, pure spectacle. There is no intellectualism in them at all. All of the intellectualism has been sucked out of media. And it's not meant for you to remember what happened. That's the problem. Sneako's a guy like me, bro. He's thinking too deep about. If you start thinking too deep about everything, you'll lose your mind in this world. Because unfortunately for us, for people like me, for people like Sneako, the people who woke up, the people who can see that they're living in the fucking robotic, mindless, soulless, soul-crushing, imperialistic, consumer society that we live in, that we inhabit. The people who woke up, if you focus too long on it, you will crash out. I think that I'm like Cypher from the Matrix. Like I'm ready to get plugged back in. Because unfortunately for me, once you wake up and see the world that you live in and you start to understand how it works, it's a burden to carry. You're not going to be happy. It's almost impossible to be happy. How can you be happy when you can see the world you live in is slop? And everybody around you is brainwashed. They're working for this. What the fuck is this? What inherent value does this have? Seriously. You're killing yourself for this. This is what you want so badly? This is what you're dying for? This is what you throw your whole life away for? A piece of paper? A piece of paper that somebody told you has value? Seriously? He says, Scott, stop being a hypocrite. I mean, royalty, I'm not being a hypocrite. This is what I actually think. What you guys don't understand, Amos says the McLaren key. Yeah, the McLaren key. The McLaren key, the watch. What you guys don't understand is I'm aware of everything that's happening. I just told you I'm like Cypher from the Matrix. I use those things to manipulate my audience, to manipulate people around me. He says, get over yourself. He says, you ain't manipulating us, nigga. I don't know about you guys, royalty, but it definitely manipulates other people. Do you think that when you put at a bank or a store or a restaurant in a McLaren, that doesn't manipulate the people around you? You think that when I put on good clothing and I have this watch on my wrist, it doesn't manipulate the people around me? You guys, the problem is you guys think I drink the Kool-Aid. I don't drink the Kool-Aid. I make the Kool-Aid. I don't drink it. I make it. And I've been trying to teach you guys that for the longest time, but it's like people don't listen to the real message I'm trying to preach. The message I'm trying to preach is make the Kool-Aid. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Don't get high on your own supply. That would be silly of me. He says, I get 3 fucks of what people think if I dress or a certain way. Well, that's you, royalty. You're one fucking person, dude. I don't understand why you don't comprehend what I'm saying. You're one person, bro. The majority of people aren't going to think like that. The majority of people, when they see you walking in a fucking suit with a fucking $20,000 Rolex coming out of a McLaren, they worship you. You're in a system. We're all in a system. You need to learn how to manipulate the system. He says, y'all, only him and Sneako are the smart ones who just are realizing all this that the rest of the world knew years ago. Oh my God. I'm not going to get rage bait tonight. I'm not getting rage baits tonight. Let's just finish this video because I'm not going to be a lol cow.
Meant to drive as many tickets as possible, guaranteed to get sales, because when you cram all these...
He says, I don't want to be worshipped. I'm good. Well, I do. I do, royalty. I like that feeling. He says, so you're launching your own HU soon? Daffy, if I was a demon, I would, bro. I actually would. I actually would if I was a demon.
Superheroes in one movie, of course the cattle are going to line up to see it. A movie like that really doesn't harm anybody, but the more we spend our time and money to line up and see this slop, the more we take away from the people who are really creating something real. Martin Scorsese faced a lot of heat for publicly dissing Marvel, and ironically enough, one of the best movies to come out in the past 10-15 years was Joker. But the reason I even hated Joker was because it's just a Martin Scorsese movie. It's Taxi Driver mixed with the king of comedy, but guaranteed to sell because it's still a superhero movie too. Another origin story. Even the medium that I love so much in YouTube is clearly going...
He says, shut the fuck up, Sneako. You saw the movie a bunch of times. Joker was so peak.
...in the AI-generated direction because the CEO just said he's encouraging a new wave of creators who do not have access to camera gear and editing equipment to use their new AI tools.
That's the main problem, bro. The main problem I have is that if you thought that before we were consuming slop, oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. Now that we have AI, bro, it's going to be infinite slop. You ain't seen nothing yet. I'm complaining right now. In 5 years, I'm going to be crying. Because in 5 years, it's going to be so bad, bro. It's going to be so bad. We're cooked. We're cooked. Guys like Royalty, guys like Vin, guys like me, we're lucky. Royalty, we're lucky, bro. To be in your 30s, you're lucky because you got to experience the normal world before all of this bullshit. Think about that. You had a normal childhood. You got to watch some of the best movies ever made by the human species all together. You got to watch all the, you got to watch all the fucking, like, the Alien. You got to watch Predator. You got to watch Rambo. You got to watch Full Metal Jacket. You got to watch fucking all the classics, bro. Total Recall. You got to watch all the best movies that ever were created in the Scarface, American Psycho, Pulp Fiction. You were born at just the right time where you got to enjoy the stuff that was peak, and you got to enjoy a little bit of the technology. Because what's coming next is a disaster, bro. It's not going to be good. The human spark is gone, bro. They killed it. They packaged it up and they're trying to sell it to you. Stop crying, baby. Let daddy engage the people. He says, I see a video that said even doctors will be replaced by AI. It said only good jobs will be labor skilled jobs. What makes you think that labor skilled jobs are not going to be taken over by robotics in like the next 5 or 10 years? There are no jobs, Amid. That's what you guys are missing. You guys aren't seeing the big fucking picture, the agenda here. There are no jobs. There are no jobs. I'm telling you guys, by 2035, latest 2040, there will be no jobs. The question you should be asking yourself is that when there's no jobs and you're no longer necessary, why would they keep you around? Why would they keep you around? At that point, you're just a liability. He says, I'm just saying what an hour-long video said, but you're smarter. I think sometimes you guys, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes y'all niggas be annoying me, bro. You guys think that I just watch videos? I read, bro. I read actual articles. I'm not trying to fucking pull rank on y'all niggas, but like, nigga, we're not the same kind of person. Y'all be watching shit on the internet. I be reading books from the fucking actual researchers and shit.
Soon, even this will be replaced by ChatGPT. And although Neil Mahan, the YouTube CEO, is facing backlash and people are very upset that what was once created for you to see something through the tube is going to be another form of Sora AI, more slop, it's inevitable that this will replace 99% of the creators on this platform. There's nothing we can do about it. Even the Hinge CEO stepped down yesterday to create a new app that's going to have couples meet through an AI-generated software.
That's crazy.
Very upset recently when the people who are purporting the idea of resisting the slave mind, fighting back against the slop. Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate just took a major gambling deal. These are people that I have publicly defended.
Look, on a normal night, I would crash out. When you guys say something like, you're saying something that people, like, you're saying it like it's something new and people already know this. Are you guys like... Oh my God, let me just control myself because I have my baby in my hand. I don't want to crash out. I don't want to crash out. But it's like you guys are, sometimes I think you guys are slow. I really do. I'm making content. I'm making a video. I'm talking about it because I'm making a video that other people are going to see. You guys think you're the only people in the world? Do you think that not one other person is going to come in here and see this video and maybe that person might not have thought about this that way? Like, you guys need to like learn empathy, learn to have other people's perspectives, learn to think outside of yourselves. Cause like, this is not, I'm not making the video particularly for you or particularly for Royalty or particularly for any individual in this video. I'm making it as a general video because maybe there might be some fucking person who doesn't think that way and they'll watch the video and maybe they'll understand what I'm saying and they'll be like, oh, I never thought about it that way. But then again, I'm crashing out and I'm becoming a lolcow again. I'm not gonna let you guys stun lock me. Tonight, I'm not getting stun locked.
And people that I think have a very strong message. I've met with them and we used to align very heavily. But when they branded themselves on being the ones to escape the matrix and to resist the slave mind, take a gambling deal and start profiting
on the rides because they're pressing me, bro. It annoys the shit out of me when they do that.
It's disappointing.
When they say something like, oh, Scott, by the way, everybody knows this already. I don't know why you're talking about it. It's like, I'm making them... What, baby? What, you want to say something too? You want to yell too? You want to crash out too? Go ahead. Do it. Crash out. Since you're yelling, crash out. Do it. Scream. Daddy's crashing out. You're crashing out. We can all crash out together, baby.
Saying, what do you think? You're better than them? You think you're holier than thou? Absolutely not. I'm one of the most flawed people. In fact, I've made a career off of explaining and detailing them very explicitly in videos. It's disappointing to see one more domino fall, starting the ripple effect that's going to turn everybody into those Wall-E characters. But I've made peace with the Goyslop. It's everywhere. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And trust me, after this video, you'll view everything in a different way. The fact that it's inevitable and that eventually we will all become nothing more than cattle, the world will be destroyed and everything will be under major destruction. I've come to peace with Goyslop because once you understand that it's inevitable, we will all turn into cattle. The world will be destroyed and society will crumble. All we can do is try our best to do the right thing while we're alive. And once in a while, a little Goyslop, it won't kill you.
I mean, in my opinion, you can consume a little bit of this fucking slop if it entertains you, but make sure that you don't become a fucking avid consumer of it, right? Try to fucking give something back to the community. Even what I'm doing right now, me making this content, me talking to the stream, me telling you guys my opinions, is me giving back in some shape or form. I'm not just consuming. The truth is, I really don't consume that much content. I really don't consume that much content. And that's how it should be. You need to produce more than you consume. As long as you're producing more than you consume, you're winning. The moment that balance is switched and you're doom scrolling and consuming content nonstop, then you're fucked. But as long as in my opinion, as long as you're giving back to the community, as long as you're creating content, as long as you're trying to move that needle in the direction you want it to be moved in, then you're winning. So keep it up. You know, I have escaped the pitfalls of gooning and watching gooner content, spending time on Instagram doom scrolling, spending time on TikTok doom scrolling, consuming random content that adds no value to my life. And I really do challenge you guys that if you want to get to the next level in life, you need to do the exact same thing. Stop watching slop content. Stop fucking watching pornography. Lock in, create something, find your talent, and figure out how to capitalize with your talent in order to make these imaginary pieces of paper that supposedly have some sort of value. And then use that to level up in life and manipulate your conditions to the spot that you want to reach. But of course, most people aren't going to listen to this message. And I would love to collaborate with Sneako. I need to get my numbers up so I can ask Fresh to put me in contact with Sneako. But until my numbers are up, I can't do it. That's what you guys don't understand. I'm not going to go and beg somebody to put me into contact with another person and not have any value to add. Because what does Sneako get out of it? If I'm not popping off right now and I'm not getting decent amount of people watching me, and I asked Fresh and Fit, I asked Walter Weeks to introduce me to Sneako, what does Sneako get out of it? He gets nothing out of it. So until I can add value by, having an audience and having a platform, there's no point in me asking Fresh, oh, Fresh, yo, hey, bro, can you put me in contact with Sneako? Because what does he get out of it? Nothing. You need to stop being selfish, chat. That's what, most people, I feel like people think I'm selfish because I'm greedy, because I'm materialistic. But that's not selfishness. Selfishness is when you're incapable of seeing how you can help another person. You're incapable of seeing it from their perspective. For me to ask and ask and ask and take and take and take and not give anything back, that is the true definition of selfishness. And I'm not that guy. So I will never go out of my way and ask somebody for a favor because I haven't earned it. Let me earn it. And then I'll be like, oh, yo, Fresh. Yo, my last podcast did 2 million views. I want to get Sneako on there. And then I can ask. But until I'm on that level, I'm not going to ask. It's pointless. Also, Contents Universe, stick around, bro, because I want to jump on a Discord call after this if Octavia falls asleep. Are you going to sleep, baby?
I don't know how that guy's wearing a t-shirt.
He says, selfish, bro already invited you. You said no. No, Walter invited me to lunch, and I think it was Wes Watson, Vince Fisher, Walter Weeks, my boy Floyd Drag, and 2 other guys. But I didn't go because I went to Miami with my other friends, and I thought it was going to be unfair and kind of scummy if my friends invited me to Miami and then I leave them to go hang out with another group of people. And that's called having integrity. That's called having integrity. He's like yelling. She's like, my daddy's yelling. I'm going to yell too. You're going to yell, baby? We're yelling. We're both yelling together. She's laughing. Yeah, we can all yell. Daddy's going to yell. You're going to yell. Let's all yell, baby. Big yells. Big yells. Where's the camera so I can show you guys her face? She's laughing. Big yells, baby. Yeah, the day that I went to Miami and Walter was like, oh, bro, we're going to grab lunch. You want to come? I looked at Walter and I said, I'll let you know, man. Because my friends that took me to Miami, the friends that invited me to Miami, they wanted to hang out too. And what kind of person am I if I abandon my fucking friends to go hang out with celebrities? That makes me look like a scumbag. You guys need to think in the bigger picture of things, chat. And that's the problem. You guys don't think in the bigger picture. You guys think too short term. He says the supercar friends? Yes, the supercar friends, but it was a different group of them. But they were the ones that invited me to Miami. So why would I leave my buddies to go hang out with random internet people? He says Scott gets nervous when a guy asks him out. Yo, Royalty, I got butterflies in my stomach. When he said it, it's in the video. If you go back and watch my vlog from when I went to Miami the last time I went, it's in the video when he was saying about the lunch and shit. Yeah, I got butterflies, bro. I was like, oh, Walter, thank you. Pause. He says, Scott said, take me out to eat first. Nah, I feel like I could collab with Sneako and it would be very interesting. We'd have a very interesting conversation. But like I said, I want to get to the level and I don't want to be an industry plant either.